end 7 day getting closer and closer. That's November 7th. There's been a lot of rampant speculation online about EA's big announcement. They've been teasing it like crazy, and in regards to Mass Effect. Now we know that they're going to reveal some details. We think we're finally going to see some gameplay trailers for Mass Effect Andromeda, game that was supposed to be out by now. That's turning into this generation's Duke Nukem Forever. Whether or not that game turns out to be any good, I don't know, because they switched directors so many times. It feels like it's a project in complete chaos, just from what I can tell. So, we'll see. It's definitely not going to be part of a trilogy, which will make it lesser than the Mass Effect trilogy as it stands right now, and it feels more like a side story fan fiction sort of thing from the concept. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I wanted to talk about are the wild rumors and some of the unreasonable demands being made in regards to a remaster of Mass Effect for the PC and current gen consoles, the Mass Effect trilogy. EA has pretty much said that they've said that they are actively looking into it, which sounds like PR speak for they farmed out some development house somewhere, something's going on, and they're looking at the possibility. I even accidentally signed a petition online for current gen remaster of Mass Effect, the whole series, of course. When I say Mass Effect, I mean the whole series, not just Mass Effect, the first game. Because I was trying to swipe down on it on my phone and I accidentally hit the sign button, but that's a whole nother story. But its demands were completely unreasonable and completely unrealistic. I mean, it would be as hard as making a new game, which I don't want them to divert resources from the new game, which already seems like it had its share of problems in development, to make a remaster of games that are already out there and run pretty well. So, but that being said, this would involve rebuying games that I don't think are fundamentally broken. So, once you get them patched and everything. So, here's the list of what I think realistically as a consumer we have a right to expect. I would expect, first of all, the remaster to cost somewhere between $60 and $100 for if you're getting the whole trilogy. If you're buying the whole trilogy and it's on like a single Blu-ray disc for like the Xbox One or PlayStation 4, and then it's on multiple DVDs, or I wish developers would start doing releasing these remastered collections on the PC on Blu-ray discs, because Blu-ray drives, you can get a Blu-ray drive for like $40 for your PC. But I guess it's a chicken, and I'd rather do that than have to sit there for 2 months downloading it. Even if you're not like me, stuck out in the middle of nowhere, and you have a really good internet connection, you're still gonna likely run into your data limit trying to download all 3 games along with their DLC. And that's the first thing. Is number one, for the collection to be worth my money to rebuy it, I would expect it to include all DLC, because some of the game's plots they're just lessened without it, and there are 3 whole characters on your squad that you don't have if you don't have the DLC for all 3 games. And the one one piece of DLC for the first Mass Effect has been impossible to get a hold of for a long time. So that's number one. The games need to come with all DLC. Number two is the first game needs to be brought up to spec to run on at 1080p. That's, 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second. The last two games in the series do. The first one's maximum resolution is 1280 by 800 resolution, and that's a real damper on that game visually, if you ask me. So that's number. So if you can get them up to 4K, fine. That doesn't affect me. I don't have a 4K monitor. I don't have a 4K TV. If you can get them up to 4K without it being too hard, then fine. But all I really ask is that all free games run at the same full HD resolution, 60 frames per second. Number three, all patches and bug fixes need to be on the disk. Don't make us download patches that have been out for years. Some patches of which it is harder to find on the internet than others. You're going to have to make new versions of the patches to make them compatible with this new box, to make it compatible with this new box set or whatever it's going to be anyway. So include all patches. And fourth, fix the inventory system in Mass Effect 1. The one flaw, the one holding back Mass Effect 1 from being maybe as great as it could be. And I know a lot of people say it's Mako, but I thought the Mako handled fine. At least it does on the PC. If you can do something to fix its controls on the consoles, that would be great. But it handles fine on the PC, so that's not what holds it back, in my opinion. But it's a glaring flaw, and it's the inventory system. There's so much stuff. One of the things that Mass Effect 3 did right was once you get a higher upgraded version of something, like say a pistol mod, once you get like the third version of that pistol mod, if you have version 1 equipped, it automatically equips the third version and just gets it out of your inventory, just ejects it, and you never come across the first version again. Because of your limited number of inventory slots and everything else and all your squad mates, I spend probably, every time I play the original Mass Effect, I spend a good 5 to 7 hours probably in that inventory system, just deleting old stuff, equipping the new stuff, so I'm ready to take on the higher level enemies. And that puts a real cramp in the gameplay. That really cramps up the gameplay. So fix the inventory system in Mass Effect 1. That's the one thing holding it back from greatness. And here's the fifth and final thing that I would reasonably expect from a remaster is make sure there's a consistent go in Mass Effect 2, either get rid of the level 30 cap for leveling up your character. I don't think that should be too hard to do. Or make it take a lot more experience points to get to each level there. Now, the reason why this is the fifth and final priority I have there, well, it's not the final priority. There is one bug fix that they've never gotten to that Now that I think of it, that will be number 6. But the reason why this is such a priority for me is that in Mass Effect 2, you pretty much get your character leveled up to level 30 about halfway through the game, especially if you have the DLC, which I would expect any complete remastered Ultimate Edition to include. So, you already have so your character can't buy any more upgrades after you get to level 30. Well, that means that about halfway through the game, but it doesn't stop you from earning level points. In fact, you keep earning them, and there's no way to turn them into credits or anything like that you can spend on upgrades, which if you ask me, that was a huge flaw and showed maybe they should have done a little more playtesting, because I feel like a playtester would have said, hey, look, about halfway through the game I'm maxing out my level, so you feel like you're grinding. Once you get to that point, you feel like when you're doing your side quests and everything else and your loyalty missions, you feel like you're grinding to get experience points, but then you're never allowed to spend them. The experience points stack up, but you're not allowed to spend them. You have them right there, but you're not allowed to spend them because you reached level 30. Well, whoop-de-doo, I earned 1,200 experience points on that nearly impossible mission I just completed, or that boss fight. What's the point? I didn't get any tangible reward for that. Now, there are 2 very easy ways to fix this. Either stop it from stopping you, either get rid of the level 30 cap. It's the only game with that level cap, with the level cap set so low. I think the level cap is something like 45 or 60 in Mass Effect 1. I'd have to check. In Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, I know it's level 60, and your player actually starts out at level 30 if you import your Mass Effect 2 save as your character at level 30. So, either bring it up to that level 6, so either increase it to level 60 so that we're not grinding away for stuff with no reward, which is just a giant sin in any RPG, making us grind without anything to show for it, or make it take a lot more experience points to get each level, and then so it's actually a challenge, so you actually feel like you've accomplished something by getting to level 30 by the end of the game. And then finally, the dreaded ladder glitch. This happens on so many levels. In Mass Effect 3, there are so many levels where you get stuck on a ladder, and the only fix is to get the camera at exactly the right angle. If you look at my Let's Play, there are plenty of times where I've gotten it, and this doesn't change with the hardware you play it on or whatever. What system you're playing on, it happens on all of them. This is the 6th and final thing I would realistically expect to see fixed to make it worth my $60 to $100, and that is that ladder glitch where you just have to keep trying on the ladder and trying to get the camera at exactly the right angle, or Shepard just stands there going through the ladder animation but not actually going down the ladder. That is a ridiculous thing that they still have yet to patch in any version of the game, and your only fix is to sometimes be stuck there for like half an hour at a time, where in a level where you have to go down a ladder. Fix that. Get it fixed. It should be an easy glitch to fix. Shouldn't be that hard. And if it is that hard, then go in. It shouldn't be hard to redesign the levels so that you have so instead of a ladder, you have like sloping terrain. That shouldn't take too much dev time. Just go in and take out the ladder, put a sloping piece of terrain that you gradually walk down that you can't get stuck on. Problem solved. And that's what I would reasonably expect for $60 to $100. in a Mass Effect remaster. Now, as for this ridiculous petition and everything that I accidentally signed, no, they aren't going to make indoctrination theory into the game. They're not going to. They're not going to make it so that you start so that one game automatically goes into another, because that would include going into the code of each game and messing with it too much. A lot of these demands would require as much time and resources as making a whole new game. That is not going to happen. What I would expect is the list of bug and gameplay fixes I just did, which are simply fixing the inventory system in Mass Effect 1 and including the DLC and getting rid of glitches. That's what I would realistically expect. Don't get your hopes up for anything more, and you're not entitled to anything more in a remaster of a release, because the point of these is to allow you to play the game on current gen systems. The trouble is that the systems are different. Backwards compatibility didn't used to be a thing when I was a kid, so I guess I feel a little bit differently than other people, but I don't think I'm getting ripped off when the current gen system doesn't play the last gen system's games, unless they are so similar. Unless the systems are so similar that it would literally take one line of code. But a lot of people have reported that even the backwards compatibility on the Xbox One with the first Mass Effect game has some problems and some glitches or something with it. So apparently it's not that simple. So a remaster is an easier way to go, and since some people are demanding the games in 4K, I'm not sure. I don't know if the Unreal Free engine can do that. I don't know if you'd have to move to Frostbite 2 or Frostbite 3 or whatever engine they're making Andromeda in, which again would be like remaking a whole new game, which I don't want to see farmed out to some other studio, which is most likely what will happen with a remaster. And I don't want to see BioWare divert too many resources. However, there is one wishful thing I would like to see, and this is pure pie-in-the-sky wishful thinking. But I think it would work, that it wouldn't. I think that this isn't entitled. This is and this wouldn't be a deal breaker. This isn't me saying that it has to be there. Let's be clear. I'm just saying this would be my wishful thinking. BioWare, you've gotten on the whole Mass Effect free ending thing. One of the things that you get some goodwill from it on is the fact that you've kept an active link on your official. On your official message board. You've kept the link and the thread for the Mass Effect Happy Ending mod active. Okay. Now, there are only a couple of things wrong with this mod, in my book. There are only two. One is the fact that it has to use MIDI file music, which feels out of place with Mass Effect. Two is, of course, the video is slightly low resolution because they had to capture these video clips that they were reanimating into their own thing, the fans. So there's varying quality there, and there are two instances where the lip sync goes completely off. Now, a professional development house should be able to clean that up pretty easily. I mean, they have the original video files that they were just copying and putting in there, so, and they don't have to record any new actors' lines or anything. And you can even put a note, just a note at the beginning of Game Free asking if they want to play it with the happy ending mod or with the developer intended endings. And you can even have a note that says, this is a fan created mod, it isn't canon, this is in no way canon, this was in no way made by BioWare, all we did was clean it up. That would be my pie in the sky wishful thinking so far as the ending goes. None of this indoctrination theory, you have to change everything about it. I don't expect them to do that. And I don't expect this to happen, but 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 if I was gonna hope for them to do something about the ending, that is all I would reasonably ask. I would think is reasonable to ask for is just take this already fan-made mod, just clean up the messy bits, um, you know, give lip sync to the 2 instances where lips aren't in sync in it. And yeah, lip sync is probably something you'll be fixing in any remaster anyway, so it wouldn't be too much trouble to do it here. And just say that it's non-canon, and you don't have anything to lose. Now that BioWare has pretty much confirmed that all future Mass Effect games will either be prequels set in the Milky Way or set in the galaxy of Andromeda, and that there will never be a post Mass Effect free Mass Effect game, then because they don't want to have to pick one ending and call it canon, even though they kind of said the synthesis ending and Shepard being dead was canon, is what they initially said. I don't know what their official stance is now, because apparently they've made some statements on some apps or something that contradict what I last heard on their message board, and and I don't have whatever Mass Effect app games or whatever made these other statements. So that would be my wish. That would be my wish fulfillment thing, is so console gamers can see this fan effort and just say that you take it as a fan tribute, but it's not canon, and just have it selectable as which ending you're going to go with. Original ending, fan-made ending at the beginning of the game. You already have a screen popping up where you select what type of game, whether it's going to play like an RPG or a shooter on Mass Effect 3 when you start a new game. So it really shouldn't be that hard to add another screen and to clean this up when the fans have already done all the work, and it's only using lines that you already have recorded, and the fans already have a credit sequence there. Just leave that on there and just say it's fan tribute, and you don't even lose face. In fact, you get some goodwill. So that's all I would ask you to do about the ending of Mass Effect 3 BioWare, if you do anything at all. But if you do nothing, that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me, because I'd be getting it on the PC because I like playing it with mods. So as long as the new remastered version is still on the Unreal Free engine, so it can, be compatible with all the mods, or if the mods can be made compatible with it, I wouldn't care. So, yeah. My one wishful thing is that the Mass Effect Happy Ending mod be an option on the console, be cleaned up and put as an option on the console. And if you don't want to clean it up, I think it still looks good enough. And just say that it's a fan made thing. If you don't want to clean it up, don't want to do any lip sync, don't want to clean up the video set, it's running at 1080, says running at 1080p, or replace it with or use already composed in-game music for it, fine. Just put it on there as an option so console gamers can experience this one mod, and this is the only time I would ask for that. But realistically, here is what I think any reasonable fan who's not being entitled or pushing an agenda has the right to expect from a remaster where they're rebuying a game for a modern system. That it run at a modern resolution of at least that the minimum that it run at, that all free games run at, is full HD 1080p. That all the DLC be there. That all the bug fixes be there. The inventory system be fixed in Mass Effect 1. And a series of to fix the leveling system in Mass Effect 2 and fix the ladder glitch in Mass Effect 3. Those are the 6 things I think we can reasonably expect. Alright, so those are my thoughts. If anybody found them interesting, thanks. Thanks for listening. I know it's a little long-winded for this type of thing, but I thought I would just get my thoughts out there since Steve Visor constantly posts long-winded posts online whenever this subject comes up on Facebook or a message board or somewhere. So I'm just putting this here so I can point you to this, so I can point people to this and say, here are my thoughts, you know, listen to them here. So yeah, well, happy end Sunday. Hopefully we won't be disappointed. Hopefully things will moving forward, and we'll get some incredible gameplay footage for Andromeda. And yeah, I know it's still 2 months away, but I can't wait to see what they have lined up. And yeah, I'm all in favor of if it includes those 6 things, I'm all in favor of a remaster. So hope things go well, and hope that this is a turning around point for BioWare and for EA, and they stop wrecking game developers. Alright? See you next time.